within we feel the shivers of a truth they cannot tame. Neon lights and coded lies try to keep us hypnotized, but the field begins to tear, and we're breaking out of their snare. Reality is bending, the truth is descending. We're tearing through the great disguise, seeing past the grand illusion, breaking free from all their lies. Welcome to the matrix of minds. We see through the shadows, leave the lies behind, breaking the fabric of reality's hold. We're the matrix minds, brave and bold. In the digital storm we stand tall, unveiling secrets they can't hide. The power crumbles, we watch it fall as we tear through their divide. Electric whispers in the night try to keep us from the light, but our spirits won't be chained through the chaos we've reclaimed. Reality is bending, the truth is descending. We're tearing through the great disguise, seeing past the grand illusion, breaking free from all their lies. Welcome to the matrix of minds. We see through the shadows, leave the lies behind, breaking the fabric of reality's hold. We're the matrix minds, brave and bold.
Oh, yeah, Brainiacs. Part 2. Part 2 of this beach chicken encounter with Mr. James Roundtree. We are indeed going to tonight cover what we didn't cover on Friday whenever my power went out. So you guys don't go anywhere, and we're going to pick right up off of where we left off on Friday. Everybody thought that we got censored whenever I said, "Yo, yeah, I remember driving, seeing band tour buses with titties on the window," and everybody thought that it was the titties on the window that got us censored and kicked out. No, it was an electrical issue. Let's just say we had one hell of storm up here in Ohio. You guys don't go anywhere. Share this broadcast. Let's have some fun right now with Mr. Beach Chicken James Roundtree. Don't go anywhere. Ah! What do you say, Brainiacs? You guys ready? It's time. It's showtime, brains. That's right. It's Matrix time. And it's go time. Welcome aboard, everybody. Let's go. We're going to talk about ufology, conspiracy, controversy, and anything and everything that we can get into tonight. Let's go. Oh, yeah. Chop, Mr. Daryl Milbauer from baby. Texas. Yeah. Crank it up, bro. Let's have some fun. Yeah. Get up, right yet? Yeah. It's definitely your show. Your show, and we appreciate you for being here. Buckle up, everybody. Board. Yo! Beach chickens in the house. What up, doobie?
What's happening, brother?
Are you ready to try this again?
Yeah, I'm ready to give it a shot. No, you check the weather, right? I mean, there's no like storms.
No, we got a hurricane blowing in.
Right?
No, not. We're good, I think. Yeah. Like I said, man, everybody was like worried that we got booted because of the word titties. But hey,
Right.
that just comes with this kind of scene.
Right. Well, I mean, look, there's been a lot worse said on this show.
For real, dude.
Titties, you know.
For real, yeah. We just started to get into we talked last Friday. Last Friday we already covered your experiential experience. How when you were 7. I remember you saying it was 7 years old when you picked up the bass. You wanted to play keyboard. You said you sucked at drums. You wanted to play drums.
Right.
All right. Anyway, now we're into the fun shit.
Yes.
The fun stuff.
Yes.
All right. Drugs, sex, rock and roll, and wherever you want to start, Holmes. I mean,
Well, I mean, this is more the production end. This is the backstage stuff. We didn't get to see a lot of the sex, drugs, and rock and roll. That's for the rock stars. We got the dirt and the sweat and the small paychecks. But no, I was in production for about 22 years. I did everything from loading trucks, rigging, stage manager, sound, lights, video, what have you. Probably I don't think there's anything I didn't work except maybe runner. There's a position called runner where you're given the keys to a van and whatever the band needs that day. If you need to pick them up from the hotel, if you need to go run and pick them up some more drumsticks, something like that. If they want to go to a bar, you go and drive them around, and basically that's your job for the day. That's the one job I never did.
that would
really
be
want to.
that would be fun though. That would be fun.
Yeah, no, it was fun. And look, I heard lots of stories from the runners about, the band partying up in the van and inviting the runner along with them. And, I mean, it's the entertainment business, so it's not like frowned upon like it would be on a regular job. So,
Right.
and they got to meet, they got to hang out with all the stars and talk to them and find out which ones are cool and which ones are assholes,
I would so do that.
Yeah.
I would so do that. I told you off air. I just put in another ad. I'm having the itch, and I think it was because of this goddamn conversation. Truly, I mean, I'm happy for a little bit, just sitting here in front of my computer, writing and creating shit with AI.
Right.
But then the Friday night talk, I think, did it. Damn it, James!
I did it again, damn
You
it.
did it again. Yeah, man. So I posted my ad on Craigslist. That's it. I'll seek to be a runner.
Right. No, runner. Runner pays a little bit better. It pays a day rate. Like the rest of us, like stagehands get paid hourly. If you're a camera operator, like I was a few times, you get paid a day rate. They'll say like, okay, $250 a day, and a runner is about the same. It's like $250 a day. However, you're running from like 6 a.m. until like 3 or 4 a.m. And so you divide all those hours up, divide 250 by all those hours, and it doesn't come out to be a whole lot. You're more working for the fringe benefits than anything.
Right.
For the experience of it.
Well, we're drivers. Or at least I am. I'm
Right,
used to.
right.
I'm used to that shit.
Right,
I am
that would be
so.
right up your alley.
I am so. David Nash is in the house. He'd be down for that. I'm down for that. I'm down for that. Yeah. Yeah. I could go. I could go hang out with Britney Spears for $250 a day.
That was the longest shift I ever worked. Was Britney Spears at the Superdome, and I think it was 98 or 99. She was doing a Fox TV special, and I went on the clock at 1 p.m. on Tuesday, and I got off the clock at 3 p.m. on Wednesday. And I had a total of maybe an hour and a half breaks throughout that whole time. I worked that entire freaking time. By the end, my arms couldn't move.
See, David Nash like hell yeah, hell yeah. We'd take that perk.
Yeah, y'all would be good drivers. I mean, y'all got the experience of it, Our drivers were just people that drove cars normally, and now they were driving a van. But yeah, you go and pick the band up at the hotel. If they sometimes, when they're in New Orleans, they're like, oh, I want to try out a famous restaurant or something or some famous bar. So you bring them over there and you wait for them, and then they're like, all right, well, we got to get to the show, and you bring them over there, and then you wait, and then like during the show, I think I was a runner one time. It was for a country show. What the fuck was his name? Tracy something, and it was some country show locally, and I was the runner, and like, they sent me out at like 7, 8 o'clock at night to try and find a music store that's open to find drumsticks, and things like that. And
unreal. You don't that is, well, that's cool. Don't get me wrong, but if the drummer ain't got sticks, come on, man. Really?
Right. Exactly. But they would do that, and sometimes they would forget them, or they didn't like the kind they had, and there was a specific kind, and they wanted them. And I don't know. That part was kind of a pain in the ass. Just picking the band up and bringing them where they wanted to go, that's fine. But when you're sent on these midnight runs and you're trying to find a music store that's open at 9 o'clock at night to get a set of strings or something, that can be a pain in the ass.
Right.
But generally, it's a cool little job. I mean, all of the jobs are cool. It's just how much physical work you're gonna do. Runner doesn't do a whole lot of physical stuff.
I have a question. What's the longest that you've been outside of your home, New Orleans, and been on the road doing this?
Oh, not much. I wasn't really a road guy. Maybe a weekend. There was one time we went up to Ruston, Louisiana, which is in North Louisiana. MTV had this. They used to do this thing. It was called Campus Invasion. And they would go to different colleges and bring bands and have all kind of booths and weird stuff set up, MTV. And we had to take a road trip to Ruston. They rented a van for us. They had about 20 of us or so, and that was about it. When I was 18, it was actually my first roadie gig. I went on the road to Biloxi with a cover band. I think they were called Mammoth or something like that, but there was like cheesy 80s covers and stuff, and that was actually my first roadie gig. I didn't get paid anything for it, I just took off for a weekend, and just to go do it.
That might even be, dude, again, I'm not making it about me. This is your thing tonight.
No,
but again, you sorry shit, you got me thinking. And it doesn't matter at this point. It doesn't matter whether I beat on drums, play bass, carry gear, dude. I've just been out of it for long enough to ignite that fire, and you did it. You definitely did it.
Well, I'm glad.
I'm like, man. Oh God.
I'm glad. No, if I can inspire someone to either start playing music or go back to playing it. Dude, I mean, you're a good drummer, man, and you play guitar, you play bass. I mean, you're a musician. You're an all-around musician. Well, dude, we ain't getting any younger, man.
Definitely not. Yeah, definitely not.
Might as well go do something you enjoy for a little while longer,
Carry gear, bro. It doesn't matter. Like I said, it doesn't matter anymore if I said just carry gear.
Yeah.
For real, dude. I know it's not gonna. I know I'm not gonna get sucked into the drugs or the sex. Right. Sex. What the hell is that? But there again, it's I missed that. That's watching, feeling, listening to it just come together. As
right.
Just you know what I mean.
Yeah. When it all gels, there's nothing better. And then if you do go play a gig, which I don't even worry about playing gigs anymore. I just like jamming with people. But you go play a gig and people, clapping and all, and it's just it's fun, I mean, dude, it's a rush, It's a rush a lot of people don't get to enjoy, And we're privileged and to be able to do that.
We definitely have had our experience. You more than me. I will not lie there. You definitely more than most people I know.
Oh, I could introduce you to some people that have done way more than I have. Guys that have gotten the contract and going and toured Europe and all that. I mean,
that would be like the shit.
Right.
That would be the shit.
That's the prize.
I'm watching really close now. I introduced you and your your honey to a band. It's literally 3 girls, and they are from Mexico by the name of The Warning.
Oh yeah.
Remember me introducing you and Morgan to them?
Yeah.
Bro, they are like absolutely on fire right now.
Yeah.
I'm seeing them.
Oh, really?
Oh my God, dude. They're all over. Primarily probably because I'm in love with the little redheaded drummer. But every little thing I see, I'm hearting it. I'm loving it. Right? And I'm watching these girls. They're kids. I mean, they're kids to you and me. Right. But nevertheless, man, I'm watching them just like float on that high energy. You know, they're doing it. I mean, they're literally making it. And
right.
and I'm like, I'm reliving it through them, and knowing that my own son, you know, knowing that Matt plays bass, dude. Yeah.
Hey, brother, can you excuse me for 1 second? I apologize to everybody. I gotta let this dog inside. Hold on.
Washing the dog.
I know, right?
Yeah, what we're talking about here, it's not just for, not just mainly for musicians. It's think about it. Those who love music. So knowing that knowing that James has been all over the place, as well as like right there locally, and
sorry about that.
It's all right, and had his hand with a numerous amount of bands. How many bands do you think that you've actually helped? They're even locally as well as
far help
professionally. Meaning like roadied, set up equipment, do this, do that, the grunt work type shit. I mean,
easily in the
thousands,
12 to 13, 14,000 range. Yeah.
God damn.
Because I've worked probably about 5,000 concerts, and I've seen about probably 6,000. You know, if you include ones I bought a ticket to and gigs that I played, you know, but I've seen probably 15,000 plus bands, and I've carried gear for probably about 12,000. I'd say about 12,000. That's good. Yeah.
Wow. And let's go back to the most reckless. Not naming names, one of the most reckless bands.
Oh, the one who Sam had the shirt on for. That was the most reckless band.
Oh, Crew.
Oh yeah. Like I said, man, they came in and they hung. You know, each building. Okay, this is a rigging standpoint. When you go see a concert, you see all the speakers hanging down. Well, they're hanging from the roof. They're hanging from the cross beams in the roof.
Right.
And each building is weighted for a certain amount of tonnage. Like you know, the Superdome is the biggest rated around here. It's rated, I think, for 250,000 pounds.
Damn.
Or more. Oh yeah, it's massive, you know. But the building they were coming in was only rated. The beams were rated for 40,000 pounds.
All
and
right.
They brought in 85,000 pounds of gear, and we're all like telling them, no, you can't do this. You know, you just can't. You know, but they did it anyway. And there was some beams that dropped 6 inches. When you're raising the speakers up, you know, sometimes you'll have to stop. So, you know, like the audio guy will take a look at it and they'll say, okay, we'll go up about 5 more feet, you know, and they're trying to get a level on it. And sometimes you have to stop all of a sudden as you're bringing it up. Well, some of those stops would actually bounce the beams a little bit, like 1 to 2 inches, which is a major bounce. Those beams shouldn't bounce at all. This is iron I-beams, you know, and
structural steel, baby.
Oh yeah, and after it was done, luckily the show went on. Now that night, I'm usually a stagehand. I'm usually inside the arena. That night, I told them, make me a truck loader, put me on the dock the whole time, because I'm not going in that building with that kind of bullshit.
Right.
And we made it through the night, but afterwards they had to bring in the arena had to bring in a structural engineer to confirm that we could ever do anything in there ever again. You know, I mean, that's how, and they just would not take no. And dude, I worked those guys 3 times, and I don't know I've never met any of the guys in the band. All right, I don't know how they are. I can't attest to personalities like that too much. I mean, some people I've met, some people I haven't, them I haven't. But their road crew was assholes.
Right?
Straight up assholes, man. Did not give a shit about safety, did not give a shit about anything. And that was a bad scene, man. Yeah.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, watching The Dirt, right? Their band manager, not quoting me on this, but says something about someone. No, this is prior to them having a band manager. You got back whenever they were touring on their own, playing in the Lucky on their own without a manager. And I remember in the movie Dirt, whenever their band manager, I don't remember his name, asked them, or they asked them, well, what the we need a band manager for? And the band manager says, well, somebody's got to lead you crazy asses through the field or through the forest.
Oh, yeah.
So, that being said, that's them getting their feet wet with a manager. And like you said, dude, I've heard they've set hotel rooms on fire and all kinds of crazy shit.
I believe it. Did you ever hear the story of how Van Halen used to put in their rider? For anybody that doesn't know, a band makes up a rider for their tour, and a rider is given to the house and the promoter, and it basically says what they want in their dressing room, what they want generally, how many stagehands they're going to need, what kind of food to bring in the dressing room, this just little things like that. Have you ever heard the story how Van Halen had a rider that they didn't want any, I think it was red or brown M&Ms. They wanted a big bowl of M&Ms, but they didn't want a certain color. I think it was brown. You ever heard that story?
Hell no.
Okay.
Damn, is that picky, bro?
No, but it's a true story, and I saw an interview with David Lee Roth, and he said why. And it goes along with the crew thing. When they were on that tour, they were bringing massive amounts of gear onto these little stages, okay? And some of these stages could barely hold what they were bringing on. They're bringing on the Marshall cabinets, things like that. They're bringing full-on Van Halen 1980, whatever it was, And there was issues of safety. And so what they did, and they didn't trust their, I think it was either the promoter or the tour manager. Forgot which one it was. But they didn't trust them because sometimes they would get up there and they'd play a gig and the stage would actually be a little shaky from all this gear. And they started getting worried about, their safety, the crowd safety, all like that. So they put in the rider that they wanted a big bowl of M&Ms, but they didn't want this particular color. And then they would go check it because they said if someone, the amount of detail they needed on that tour to make sure everything was safe, they wanted to make sure someone was going to make sure there was no brown or red M&Ms or whatever it was in there. And if they couldn't pay attention to that much detail, then they couldn't pay attention to the safety of the crowd or the band.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And one night they found the brown M&Ms and they fired the guy and they got a new guy in.
What?
Yes.
Well, there was, I can't remember where. And, well, shout out, by the way, I would say something here. Got a new face, Jenna Bradshaw from Alvarado, but just say Texas. Yeah, from Texas. And shout out to Michelle, Airbrush Mish. She says, God wants to show us our creativity. That's what he created us for. Dennis is like, I played cowbell all over the country, plus truck horns.
Dennis loves the cowbell.
Yeah, as well as with the gumbo.
Gumbo, yeah.
Yeah, gumbo. Check this out though. You said something really key, and that is that even that band paid attention to detail, to especially safety, because I don't know if you're familiar with an event that happened. I want to say it was somewhere up here around my area where a stage collapsed. I don't remember where, but this stage collapsed. Oh, dude, and it killed quite a handful of people, dude.
It was quite a few years ago, right? It was like a windstorm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
It was not good, dude.
No, and that's the thing. You gotta the thing with that, which I do keep up with all this stuff, not as much as I used to, but what it is with that, okay, so on the back of that stage, they had a very big tarp, okay? When you have big tarps like that, you have to cut out these wind holes. They're like little smiley faces, little smiles all over. And it's to let the wind go in and out of that tarp. Otherwise, the tarp becomes a sail. And
right.
Right, and that particular gig, I read into it. That particular gig, they put up a tarp that didn't have those wind holes in it. That tarp just started taking all that wind. It was a freak storm that came up, and it ended up all that pressure being pushed. You're asking this truss, this metal truss, to hold back this freaking sail. You know, it's not built to be a ship. You know, it's built to be a stage, a temporary stage for the show. And eventually, the trusses gave way, and the whole thing just collapsed. And yeah, people get killed, man. That's the thing with in this business. If an accident happens, people get seriously hurt or killed.
Right.
There's no like small accidents. You know, I mean, it's always major. That's why you really have to know what you're doing, because you're hanging thousands of pounds of gear over human beings.
Right.
Squishy little human beings that will go splat if this shit falls. So
Captain Morgan says that he's played stages as well, or he's ran stages as well as festivals.
Yeah.
You want to talk a little about the commonality or the differences?
Well, I mean, being a stage manager, there's a difference between being a stage manager and just being a worker. You know, when you're a stage manager, one, you carry a lot more radios and telephones with you, unfortunately. And so you got a lot more responsibility, and you're part organizer too. You're talking to a lot more, like as a stagehand or a crew supervisor, I'm running my crew. I'm talking to house security. I'm talking to the promoter. I'm talking to the stage manager. But mainly, I'm a point of contact for labor. You know, somebody will come in and say, "Hey, I need 5 guys over here real quick," you know, and I go grab 5 guys and send them over there. With stage manager, I have to make it all happen. I'm babysitting the stage. I'm babysitting the structure of the stage. I'm in contact with the bands themselves, with the tour managers, making sure they've got all their hospitality set up, making sure they've got their gear. I'm in touch with security. I got my labor crew. I mean, stage manager is that's a whole nother gig, man. And it's a blast when you're in it, and you just got to own it. You just got to take the thing and you just got to own it. And for however long they want you to own it. My gig usually was 3 days. I had to stay for 3 days, and I just had to own that thing for 3 days. And my last time doing it was 2019, and then, you know, COVID hit, so 2020 got canceled. It's actually a festival out here that they have every year, and I was stage manager for 14 years. And then COVID hit, and then the year after COVID, they had a resurgence of COVID or whatever, and they canceled it again.
Yeah.
And by that time, I was just like, well, you know, I'm getting old. My gig's done.
That incident that I was telling you about, David Nash, I do believe David put it down in the chat over in Trovo, that event was at Cincinnati, and I do believe he may be right on that one. I do know. I remember when Dimebag Darrell was in Columbus and got fucking shot by one of his fans.
Oh, that was in Columbus, huh?
Yeah, dude.
Oh shit.
Shout out to Larry Hawkins, Mr. Door. What did Sam's call him? Larry the Door Kicker Hawkins. That's it.
The door kicker
Says I was at the show whenever the dude fell from the stage rafters at the Metallica show back in the '90s. I don't remember that one.
Wow.
I remember hearing about something like that.
Right.
But yeah, the dude was. I thought it was okay. There's all kinds of incidences like that. That's, if I remember right, not switching gears to wrestling, but Bret Hart, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep.
Was gonna like do something from the rafters and shit, and a cable snapped or fucking broke or whatever. Dude, he plunged from the freaking from the rafters to his death. That literally killed him, man.
1996, we had the Super Bowl in New Orleans, and there was, pregame they do all these acts and events, whatever. Well, they had a bungee jumper,
Right.
and she was gonna bungee jump from near the top of the dome, and because at the time bungee jumping was a big deal, it was like a new thing or whatever, and so she was gonna bungee jump from the top of the dome at the beginning of the game. Well, they're doing a few days before the game. Now, I wasn't there, but I know guys that were that actually saw it happen. Like the week before the game, they're doing rehearsals for it. So she was supposed to have our riggers up in the ceiling to rig her bungee cord, okay? For some reason, production, I don't know the exact story, but production told the riggers to go home, and they brought in 2 guys from Academy Sports to go and rig her thing. And they went up there and they rigged it, and she went to do a practice jump, and they did not rig it correctly, and she hit the floor once, bounced, and done.
Oh my God, bro. Broke her neck?
Broke everything probably, because she went straight to the floor. It's supposed to be rigged to a certain, because bungee, it's a rubber band. So
Right.
it's not a rope to where you're going to come down and stop at a certain point. You're going to have a little bit of bounce.
Sure.
And these guys, they're from Academy Sports. They don't know rigging.
Damn.
Right. They don't know rigging, especially not the Superdome. The Superdome's a whole nother animal. And you got a rig for that stretch at the end. And they didn't do it. And man, what they told me was,
Wow.
she hit the floor, bounced probably about 15 feet in the air, came back down, and was dead. Right there. And nobody knew about it
Oh my.
because it was scheduled for the beginning of the football game. Well, the football game, it was never announced, so nobody at the football game knew that there was supposed to be a bungee jumper there.
Right.
It was supposed to be a surprise. Well, surprise, but yeah. No one was any of the wiser except the crew, because we knew that was supposed to go on and didn't, because the girl died.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, isn't New Orleans Superdome, isn't that an expandable dome?
No, it's on the inside. Yes, you can. You used to be able to move the stands in for like smaller concerts and then move them back out, but they did a lot of renovations after Katrina, and now they have like clubs and stuff down on the ground level. So I don't think it does that anymore. But there used to be in the floor. There was these tracks. They were probably about almost a foot wide, and they had metal covers on them. And what it was the bottom level of the dome. The seats were like these units that had wheels in them, and they would run along those tracks. They would run inside the tracks. So if they had to bring them out for a small concert or something like that, they would just go in there, and they had they were electronic, it was motorized. So they'd plug up the controls to it, and they'd walk it out to however far they needed it and walk it back. And during certain festivals, we would run cable into those pits. We used to call them the vomit pits, because we'd have these concerts, and people would get drunk and throw up, and they would just lift everything off into these little channels. And then it's time for us to go in and run cable, and we lift it up, and there's like dried vomit everywhere. We're like, put your gloves on,
Oh my God.
Yeah, but I don't think they have that anymore, because like I said, they did all kind of renovations, and now there's like club level stuff down there, the VIP clubs and shit like that.
I have got I have got so many questions yet, and I guess it all pertains to like your most exciting event or whatever, one that you could not wait to watch and witness. There's got to be some up your sleeve. All of those shows, man. There's got to be like one that stands One that stands out.
Okay. Well, okay. Now this is what I got to say though. Sometimes I was looking forward to a gig and it turned out to be a disappointment. And sometimes I look forward to it and it was better than I even thought it would be. And sometimes, so it's like, it's weird because, you never know what kind of act you're going to get that night. I'll tell you about the coolest one for me. I'm a Rush fan. I love Rush.
Yep.
One of my favorite bands. And they were on the 30th anniversary. I think, 30th anniversary of Moving Pictures, the album with Tom Sawyer and all that on it. So they were going to do the whole album. Now, I wasn't doing show call. There's three parts of a show. There's the load in, when you bring everything in. There's the show call. If you're working show call, you're either on deck, spotlight, something like that, band gear, and the loadout, which is after everything's done, you shine it up, put it back in the truck. So I wasn't on show call. So I went, and the spotlights were up in the catwalk. This was at the sports arena. I think it's called the Smoothie King Center now. It's where the Pelicans play, the basketball team. So the spotlights were up in the catwalk. So I went up in the catwalk because back then I didn't want to be in the crowd. I'm above the crowd, man. I'm a stagehand. I don't want to be among the peasants. That's how I was.
Right.
So I went up to the spotlight and I'm watching the show, and man, they just put on. It was one of the most amazing shows that Rush. I've seen Rush probably a half dozen times. They blew every other time out the water. So I'm like sitting up there. So the show goes on till 11 o'clock, but at 10 o'clock I have to go downstairs to go sign in for the loadout and get assigned to whatever department they want me in, sound, lights, whatever. So it got to be around 10 o'clock, and man, I did not want to go down there. I was like, so anyway, to get down, so the spotlights, the stage is on one side of the arena, the spotlights on the other side. So but the elevator to get down to the dock is on the side where the stage is. So I had to walk the whole catwalk all the way back to where the stage was and across the stage. Because to get to that elevator, you got to walk the catwalk across the stage, and then you get to the elevator. Well, right when I was walking on the catwalk, they were doing this song called Witch Hunt. And the way it starts off, it's a very ominous song. It's just like, a couple of like toms, doom, doom, and like, sound, doom, doom. It's very ominous. Well, they were shooting fire pots. And if you've ever been to a concert and seen pyro where they shoot the fire and it goes way, way up, that's a fire pot. They had fire pots on toward the back of the stage. And right as I'm walking over the catwalk, they shot these fire pots up. Now, I'm 60 feet up. The fire pots are just going about 20 feet up. But, dude, I could feel the heat. And I'm looking down, at my favorite band in the world playing one of the best songs they have, and they're shooting pyro up, and I'm feeling the heat. And I was like, it was just, and I was the only one on that catwalk right at that moment. I'm the only one that experienced that. I was like, I did not want to go down for loadout, man. I was like, shit, man, I don't want to go back to work now. I want to watch
that was the shit, right?
Oh, man, it was amazing. Just the sight and the way they had the stage lit up. And like I said, I mean, I'm looking at the fire shooting right at me. It's not reaching me, and it's not like a super hot heat where I'm sweating, but you can feel the heat from it, and it was just amazing, man. Just an amazing experience.
Right. So Rush is your favorite band?
Rush and Black Sabbath, they're kind of tied, yeah.
Are they your influence?
Yes, on bass, yes.
Yes.
Rush and Sabbath on bass. Those are Geddy Lee with Rush and Geezer Butler from Sabbath. Those are two of my biggest influences.
Larry's gonna bust your bubble here. Larry's like, oh, I'd rather listen to Miley Cyrus than Rush.
That's because you'd never listen to Rush. I cannot believe any drummer that doesn't like Rush. I don't get that. It's one of the greatest drummers in the history of mankind.
Neil
Peart, man. Listen, his drumming was an influence on my bass. I could listen to his drums and just start coming up with stuff.
Yeah, man. He's really intricate, dude. The way he plays drums reminds me of Oh my God, Tool, Danny Carey.
Oh yeah.
Danny Carey, dude. No, I'm not. Not really wanting to switch gears to this kind of stuff, but
Oh no.
bro, Danny
Fuck
Carey,
yours. Go ahead.
Danny Carey is definitely one of my inspirations, as
Right.
as well, dude. I love hearing Danny Carey play. I do, and his timing signatures, dude, are insane, absolutely insane.
He's my favorite member of Tool. Like I've said it before. I wasn't a Tool fan back in the day. I've learned to appreciate him as I've gotten older. But and I mean, like, Morgan, man, she's freaking Tool. She's the one that actually got me into listening to him a little more. But Danny Carey, to me, is the most talented member of that band. I mean, just an amazing drummer, man. I could listen. I could take the Tool albums, and you can take out the bass, guitar, vocals, any other sound effects they have, and just give me the Tool albums with just the drums, and I could jam on that.
Oh yeah. David Cepeda says, "Good evening from the West Coast, fucker." Well, good evening, fucker.
David Cepeda, yeah, that's Squaw, man. He was my dude back in the day, bro. I tell you what, man, that dude is a stand-up dude, man. He is no bullshit. He will tell you straight to your face exactly. I mean, he reminds me of you a lot in that way, and that is one of the dudes, man, that I've rarely had people come to my defense when I've been like attacked in the industry and shit, because I mean, it happens. There's a lot of egos. That man came to my defense, had this. That's a whole story in itself. Wait, hold on. Now that I got Dave there, because if he's listening, he's going to back this up, and I'm going to give him props because I fucking love him forever for this shit.
Well, yeah, dude, he came in. He just comes straight in the door and kicked it in. It's like, "Sup, fuckers?" So yeah, of course.
That's him, bro. Look, so that festival, I'll tell you about that. I was stage manager. All right, so one year, okay, so I'm trying to explain this without getting too involved or whatever. Well,
do it.
So we got cable ramps that we lay out, that we throw cables in, so that, and people have seen them before. I can't really describe them, but you've seen them at every concert. It's so that nobody trips on the cables, and the forklifts can run over them and not hurt them, all that stuff. Well, somebody ran one little bitty cable, ran all these cable ramps for one cable, and that happens. I mean, that's not an unusual thing. But I always found it hilarious because you have to do it. It's one of those things you have to do. Well, I took a picture of it and I posted it in a Stagehand group. And some dude comes out of nowhere and just starts attacking me.
Okay.
And I even said in the post, I said, I know we have to do this. I just always find it funny. It's whatever. So this dude comes out of nowhere and starts attacking me. So anyway, I'm on my stage. I go to work the next day. I'm on my stage. And then then there's the levee, because my stage is right by the river. Then you have the Mississippi River levee, and then you have the other stages and the rest of the festival. Well, I'm up there, and this dude is still attacking me the next morning. Like, I'm telling him, I'm like, dude, just fuck off. I don't care. I don't know who you are. I don't care.
Right.
Whatever. And he's still going on. Well, come to find out, David figured this out. He was actually on the stage right on the other side of the levee from me, and he's the guy that ran that cable. And that's why he was so pissed off. I'm like, dude, I'm not making fun of you. I'm just saying I think it's funny. So fucking David comes out. He goes, yeah, man, this is his name, and this is the company he works for. And he starts telling me all this shit. So I told the guys on my stage that morning, it's like 8 in the morning. I mean, the festival doesn't start for hours. So I'm telling the guys on the stage about it, and my sound guy goes, hey, man, you want me to fire up the PA so you can tell them something? I said, yeah. So, dude, I'm on the PA. I'm like, yeah, this is James Roundtree over here. I'm the one posted that picture in the Stagehand group. I'm right across the levee from you. If you want to come talk to me face to face, And I started calling his name and the name of the company.
Oh,
David started texting this dude and telling him, dude, I drank more beer with your boss than you ever will. I'll have it to where you'll never work for this company. You won't work in this town again. You better get your shit straight, dude. Before the day was up, this guy was messaging me, apologizing to me. I'm like, dude, Dave, you are the man. You're the fucking man, dude.
Hey,
Because I was ready to take this dude out, and Dave worked it out where this dude's apologized. I was like, damn, dude, that's fucking badass.
tell the story about you get your it might have been Larry. I think no, it was you. It was you because me, you, and Larry. We were all talking behind the scenes one night. We were all sharing a beer, and whatnot. Somebody, you literally got into a physical confrontation with a band.
That might have been Larry. I don't know.
Somebody, it was either you or Bro that got into a physical conversation.
I mean, it might have been Larry. I've had confrontations with other bands.
I know who it was. I'm gonna tag him up in Facebook. I know damn well who it was. It was Roger Ash. My buddy Roger Ash. He where in the hell's Roger? I need to tag him up in this. There he is. There he is. I'll tell him to listen.
So I'm gonna take a couple of minutes just so I can show off my resume a little bit.
Go.
Well, I want to start because I probably never get to do this on like any other show ever again. Not that I go on any other show. All right, so
You're going to be on Fade to Stain here next week.
Fade to Stain.
Fade to Stain. You'll see him up in Fade to Stain with Mr. I Shit Myself Church.
Mr. Jimmy Temple.
Yeah, right. No, go ahead, man.
So this is a book of about maybe half of the passes that I've gotten over the years that I kept. Some of them got lost to time or whatever.
Oh, wow.
But this is just a show. I mean, I've got I don't know how much anybody can see.
Oh, wow.
Leonard Skinner. Let's see. I can't see it from where I'm looking at. What's that? Lady Gaga at the bottom. What else I got in here? Oh, these all Hornets games and Saints games. What else we got in here?
Even that would be fun.
Yeah.
Being a stage manager for a damn game.
Yeah,
basketball.
It was
Basketball, football.
Def Leppard, Korn. I had some Tool ones I came across. I got a couple of Tool. I got Kid Rock, Goo Goo Dolls, Kenny Chesney. I mean, it goes on and on. I mean, I'm not going to go through every last one of these things.
Right.
Just to show this is my resume, partial resume. This is that's the festival I used to work, Retina Fest, stage crew,
Definitely memorabilia. You know what I'm saying? You'll
Jesus, yep.
Wow.
And then I got it's probably gonna fall down. Then I got last Super Bowl I worked, one where the lights went out. That was the pregame one. That was until kickoff. I think the R means restricted. Like you couldn't go for the game, but then I got my game day pass. So
no restriction.
Yeah, no restriction at that point.
No restriction.
That was the one where the lights went off during. I don't know, anybody out there that watched that Super Bowl where the lights went off at halftime or like right after halftime. That was crazy, dude. That was Super Bowl 47. It was the Ravens and the 49ers, and dude. So we did the spotlight for the halftime show, which was Beyonce, and once her show was over, the show's only 15 minutes. It's like 7.5 minutes to get everything out there, 7.5 minutes to get it out. So after she finished, we shut off the light, and for 7.5 minutes, and the LD lighting director, he comes on the headphones, and he says, "All right, shut down the ballast for the lights, everything, let it cool off. Once it's cooled off enough, come on down the compound." So I shut off everything, let it cool down. I go to the elevator, and right as I was going to the elevator, I see, the guy returned the kickoff for a touchdown. I'm like, okay, cool. I get on the elevator, the doors shut, and the lights go out. And dude, there was like there was a couple of state cops. There was the lady working the elevator and a few more people on it. And the lights just went out. And then what happens with elevators, if anybody knows this, there's an emergency thing with elevators. If it loses power, no matter where the elevator's at, they all go straight to the bottom, and the doors open and it shuts down. And that's it.
I did not know that.
Yeah, there's an emergency thing for elevators. If ever you lose power, it goes, because people used to get stuck in the elevator.
Mm-hmm.
But there isn't the dome anyway. So what happened was the elevator went down, opened up on the bottom floor, and people are running around like crazy. And so, I walk outside, and Morgan texted me, and she goes, "What happened with the lights?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" And I'm like standing outside, I'm looking at the dome. I'm like, "Lights are on, I don't know what you're talking about." I didn't find out till the next day.
The damn power went out.
Yeah, and you know what was funny? The day of the show. Okay, now we get there early. The game isn't until like 6, 7 o'clock, but we're there at like 8 in the morning or whatever. The electrician came by, and he was checking all the spotlights, making sure we got constant power, or whatever. And he goes, "Yeah, man, I wouldn't be surprised if the lights go out during this game." I swear to God, he said that. And I just laughed. I was like, whatever, a pessimistic electrician, whatever. Sure enough, they went out, and I was like, wow, that was crazy. But, yeah, that was that Super Bowl.
Well, all right, so we talked a little bit about the mechanical behind the scenes. Let's talk about the crazy side. Mm-hmm. For real, let's talk about the crazy side.
Okay.
I'm talking like literally because here's the thing. Again, I got to go back to the movie Dirt, right?
Right.
I have to, because at one there was one scene where it was Vince. Vince just like, plug your ears, children, banging away at some little hot blonde in this dressing room. Any kind of crazy shit like that you seen?
I don't get to see that part.
Didn't get to see that part.
I know.
Well, damn it.
I know everybody wants the story about the rock star snorting coke off the hooker's belly.
You're right.
And the Illuminati and all. I don't have those stories. I could tell you what I've heard, and and certain little things I've seen. But to tell you what happens in that dressing room, it's rare that I've been in the dressing room when the actual act is there. I think the only time was when we were doing Faith Hill and Tim McGraw, and we were fixing up Faith Hill's dressing room, and she walked in, and like she walked in, and like 5 minutes, they're like, "Okay, y'all gotta go, because she didn't like the stage hands in there. So that was the end of that. But I mean, no, I think I told you about my friend that was getting some stuff for like this band that was playing this Microsoft festival. It was a famous band from the 70s and 80s. And he said, "Yeah, man, they party in like the 70s back there." I was like, "I hear you." So like, I've known people that got to see it. I didn't personally. Sorry.
Sorry.
I've seen other crazy shit, but that particular the Motley Crue crazy shit. No, I've never been partial to that.
Captain says, "I have not seen Dirt." That's full disclosure. Yeah. Oh, you guys got to watch it. You guys have got to watch that, because growing up, me personally, Motley Crue was probably one of my favorite bands. You want me to tell you how that even shit got started? Dude, I was a little country boy at 12, and I remember where were we at? We were in Weston at a Kmart or something like that. Weston, West Virginia, at a Kmart, and I heard about this band, Motley Crue. I'm like, man, okay, so we were again at Kmart. I got this. It was Shout at the Devil. Dude, I played that tape until I wore that bastard out.
That was a good album, man. I mean, look, the first two Motley Crue albums, was it louder? Is louder than? No, I'm thinking of Soundgarden. What's the first one with Live Wire and all that stuff on it? What album's that? Can't think of the name.
Live Wire.
It's Live Wire. That's the name of it. Yeah. That album and Shout at the Devil were good albums, man. Those were jamming albums.
They definitely were. Definitely were. I put it in. I remember my father was we were in a green pickup truck. It was a Ford. I remember it had a tape player. I slammed it in there, slam it in the tape deck, and I press play. My dad's like, oh, hell no. He's like, immediately, hell no. I'm like, all right, no problem. So, again, I took it home. I listened to it, threw on my headphones, and I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Dude, I played that bastard till it wouldn't play anymore.
Yeah, I had that album. That was my first concert, Ozzy and Motley Crue. And Motley Crue on the Shout at the Devil tour. That was the first concert I ever went to.
Like I said, I seen them in concert up here at Richfield Coliseum, and it was that concert was amazing.
Yeah,
amazing. Miss Morgan says, "Oh, that's a real interesting story." I'll just say this: our very first conversation was via Facebook Messenger. Oh, Michelle, shit, I missed it. Airbrush Michelle. It's like, how did we all meet?
How did me and Matt?
I think she's saying, how did we all meet here? How did we meet here?
Oh, well, Morgan was the one watching The Matrix Minds, and I mean, I've told Matt the story a few times that, she used to watch it. She used to have her iPad set up in the kitchen, and she would, just watching shows and all like that. And one night I walked through, and Matt was going off on some shit, and he was getting real, man. He was getting real about stuff like, I can't believe somebody's actually saying. I don't even remember what it was, man. I was like, man. I asked her, who's that? Oh, that's Matthew Turner, the Matrix Mind show. I'm like, I like him, And then
thank you.
And then it was like, I guess I don't know if it was the next show after that or maybe a week later or something like that. I happened to be walking through the kitchen again, and she had you on, and you were going off about some shit again. I was like, is that dude again? And she's like, yeah. I was like, what's his name again? I was like, man, I got to look this up,
It had to have been political. Dude, that is my poison fire right there.
Right. Yeah, you were going off on something, man, and cursing and motherfucking this asshole. And I was like, I like this dude, man. He's talking my language,
Morgan says no. She asked how James and I met. Okay, meaning you and her.
Oh, through Facebook Messenger. Yeah, I was living uptown, and she reached out to me, just hi, and I was like, oh, hi, how you doing, and didn't really talk or anything like that too much, and then eventually, like, I was going through some shit eventually after I left uptown. It was a rough time, but and she reached out to me and said, hey, you want to just come hang out and talk one night, because she did like counseling stuff, and I was like, yeah, sure. And we hung out and talked, and then I don't know, just kept talking from there, and then eventually started dating. Our first date was Mardi Gras 2011. Went out and hung out uptown, and about a year and a half later, we were married.
Damn. Well, you and Honey been married as long as me and Melissa, I think.
Yeah, we make 13. We make 13 years June 1st.
Okay.
So we've been together about almost 15, I guess.
Okay. No. Then. Okay. I am subsequently tied to my wife at 21 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Well,
this year will be 21.
Congratulations.
Thank you, man.
That's good.
Ms. Moore, Captain says I had intuitions. Good intuition to me. You're a good guy. I hope.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. Intuition might not have been that great.
So y'all met at a concert. Cool. Is that
No, we didn't meet at a concert. No, we met online. Just like she hit me up on Facebook and just said hi. I think she was well, I don't know. She was married at the time, but it wasn't like a cheating thing or nothing like that. She was just like married to somebody I knew. And it's like, oh, I'm this person's wife. Okay, fine, and I mean, it wasn't like anything untoward, It's like, he knew, whatever. It wasn't like that, but eventually, over time, over the next year, they ended up splitting up, and then we started talking, and then here he is.
I told you it was the bass player.
It's the bass player.
It was the bass player.
It's the fingers.
Yeah. It's that finger. James, don't go anywhere, buddy. I want to get back with you after the break. We'll let you grab another. Well, you're outside. You're smoking. But I'll grab a cup of coffee. These guys can hang out, chill out. You guys, as long as you doing all right?
Oh yeah, I'm good, man.
All right, you got. Yeah, I know you definitely got some more stories coming up.
Oh, I got all kinds of stuff. Ask me anything. It's an AMA night.
What?
AMA night. Ask me anything.
All right. Well, you guys don't go anywhere. And again, on the other side of this little break here, we'll be back with Mr. James Roundtree. We call him Beach Chicken. At least he calls himself Beach Chicken. On the other side, don't go anywhere.
Truth Seekers Signs is a platform powered by you, the listeners. We're 100% independent and listener funded.
Wow.
Meaning your support keeps us going strong. If you believe in uncovering hidden truths and challenging the narratives, smash that subscribe button on matrixminds.us. Your generosity fuels the fire of freedom and makes a real difference. Join us in shaping the future of free thought. Looking for breathtaking photography that speaks for itself? Whether it's the raw beauty of nature, the sleek professionalism of corporate imagery, or the infinite wonders of the sky, Donovan Pudoka captures it all. With over 10 years of experience, Donovan's lens doesn't just take pictures, it tells stories. His work is perfect for travel publications, corporate branding, artistic prints, or anyone who appreciates stunning photography. If you need high-quality images that elevate your project, Donovan Pudoka delivers. Have we sparked your interest in Donovan's work? Check it out at matrixminds/Pudoka. My eye promises you, you will not be disappointed.
This CBD fluid is a whole flower fluid extracted from the cannabis flower. We don't use any heat, butane, or chemicals when we extract, so we get all of the components of the plant. All the CBD, CBG, CBA, all the terpenes, all the flavonoids. This allows our body to absorb at 60 to 90% rather than the average of 6 to 10% absorption you would get with a CBD oil. Because our bodies are made up of mostly water and this is a fluid, it's highly absorbable so that you're getting 500% more nutraceuticals per dose. We also have this available in our CBD spray as well as a muscle rub with all kinds of botanicals. You're going to absolutely love it.
Check it out, Brainiacs. matrixminds.live/CBD. CBD I use. Feel free again. Feel alive again.
Hey there, Hunter. Go check out our friends at Colorado Custom Game Calls. They are all about creating a high-quality, custom, unique game calls at an affordable price. They are here for hunters that can't and won't pay upwards of $180 to $200 per game call. They pride themselves on giving their customers the opportunity to not only purchase an affordable and high-quality call, but to customize their game call to their liking. So listen up and go check them out. That's www.coloradocustomgamecalls.com. They got calls for all type of game, and all the game calls can be custom made to your own likeness. That's www.coloradocustomgamecalls.com. Tell them Matthew sent you from the Matrix Minds.
All righty, brains. Here we are back with Mr. James Roundtree, Mr. Beach Chicken up in the house. On the other side, we was talking on the other side here was celebrities, because it's not just bands that he's had the opportunity to see, talk with, meet, blah blah blah. So yeah, James, what was one of your the coolest celebrities that you've met?
Robin Williams was the coolest. He was anything good you hear about that man is probably true.
Wow.
Because he when he came, he was doing a show, and the road crew told us, you know, Mr. Williams likes to come hang out with the local guys before going on. So about an hour beforehand, he's going to come hang out with you guys. Sure enough, hour beforehand, he came back there. We're all just dirty, scummy stagehands, dude. Been working all day, sweating, all that stuff. He came out there shaking hands, taking pictures. I got his autograph.
No shit.
Yeah, man. Nicest guy, man. He 100. When a lot of these celebrities say they believe in the working man and all that stuff, this dude really did. That was the most important thing to him, was the working man.
You know, when he died, whenever he died, I will tell you this. It literally touched my household.
Yeah.
I could not believe that he did what he did. And I we know that he suffered from depression really bad, and then hid that by being who he was,
Right. The funny son of a bitch, man. And
dude.
Just the coolest dude. And I mean, no one does that. This is what you have to understand. The gravity of that is that you don't have celebrities, rock stars, anything like that that specifically make time before they go on to go hang out with the workers. The none. I mean, that just doesn't happen.
No, it's not really heard of.
Yeah, no. I mean, and there's I've met a few that are very nice to the workers. Tina Turner was. I mean, love Tina Turner. Patti LaBelle. She was very nice. A few other ones here and there, but I mean, it was kind of like nice in passing. It's like they passed you up and, oh, hey, how you doing? This and that. And greeted you like a human being, which some of these people don't. I could tell you stories about some of those guys too, but Robin Williams, man, he made a point to go out there and talk to everybody and sign autographs and take pictures. Somewhere out there, somebody's got a picture of me with him. I didn't take the picture because this was before the days of cell phones having cameras on them. So somebody had an actual flash picture somewhere of me and him, but I don't know who's got it.
The door kicker says Robin Williams came to Baghdad right before Kid Rock. That was when I remember that. He said Larry's like, I couldn't make the show because he was out on a mission. But yeah, Robin Williams, man.
Anything good you hear about that man? I mean, I can't testify to what he was like the other 364 days out of the year. But from what I saw and from hanging out and talking to him and seeing how he was, I would guess that probably almost everything good you hear about him is probably true. He was just a good human being. And, yeah.
I can tell you, being in our business, but yet I can't even say it was a business. Your end of it was a business. My end of it was not a business.
Right.
I tried to stay clear of making the band a business. Right. I was always, even now till this day, I can show you what I just posted to Craigslist. It's about fun. When the fucking fun ends, I want off the bus. Let me off.
Right.
David Nash poses a question to you, and that is, he says, ask James. Now here you go. Ask James the first song that he played for Morgan.
First time I played for more.
What was
I don't know.
Yeah, he's like, do you remember?
I don't know, cause like I was uptown, and then, well, my life just went sideways, and I ended up having to move back home, which sucked. But home was out here, about a mile away from where she lives, where we live now. It's not like I brought over a guitar and serenaded her. I mean, and then I wasn't at my mom's for long, and then I moved back out again. And you'd have to ask her, because I don't know. I mean, the very first time, I don't know. I know there's been thousands of times. Sometimes she gets tired of hearing me, but but there's been thousands of times since then. I don't know what the first time was.
No, are you in a band now, or no?
Yeah, I'm jamming with my old band. These guys. Well, let's see if we can see it. I don't know if you can see it. It's Dead Machine Theory. We had a band for about 8 years, and then the singer went off the rails because he was dating some actress, and he fucking broke up the band, and then now he's like kind of back to normal, so he wanted to get it back together, and we just want to jam, and it was the one band, dude. I gotta say, this band right here, out of all, I've been in a couple dozen bands. This is the one band where the chemistry is there. Everything's good. Like, we don't even have to talk to each other. We already know what to do.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
so,
good.
Like, and we're all friends, and we're like the dad band. You know, it's like everybody's got a wife and kids,
Right.
and we just go play these little shows here and there. We're not looking to get famous, and everything works. We start playing something. One person starts playing something, and then the other two hook on, and all of a sudden we got a song. You know, it's just so easy. So I don't mind doing this. If it was any other band, like, I wouldn't form a band right now with like brand new people. I'd be like, you know.
Right. I've literally got to share this with you. Somewhere I've got it up here. Let me. Oh, there it is. All right, so I'm looking through my Craigslist, right? I want to show because you are touching on something. You said Dad or the Dad's band, right?
Right.
Yeah. Let me see if I can't find it. All right, so I can't share the screen with you, or can I? I might. Well, I don't know if I can or can't. Yeah, I can. There we go. All right, yeah. No drama. So you're right. The Dad's band. So let's get this back together, right? I'm okay. So you're gonna definitely understand this, right? Bandmates wanted for wall shaking fun, no drama.
Nice.
I'm a drummer who's used the kit as emotional as physical outlet for the past 20 plus years. I've been on stage with 3 different bands over the past 25 years plus. I'm not chasing fame. I'm chasing the feeling, the rhythm, the energy, the therapy of live with real people, right? My roots are deep in the 80s. Poison, Whitesnake, Bryan Adams, Motley Crue, Cinderella, big sound, emotion. Right? So you could definitely, the bonus here is I've picked up the bass the last couple of years. You know how, remember I told you my knees. Not looking for perfection, just real, raw, honest sound, yada, 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 loose jams. Yeah, that's how, but see, that's the problem. That's how the shit begins, dude.
Well, no, but that's a very good ad because it's very direct and it's telling people exactly what you're looking for.
Right.
So, like, if you don't fit this mold at this point, don't even bother calling me.
Yo, yeah. I mean, I'm 420 friendly. I don't give a shit. I mean, I just want. I literally at this point. Again, the first interview this past Friday is what I goddamn guarantee is what triggered it. But it had to have been. So I even told Melissa, I'm like, man, I miss that creative outlet. I definitely miss that creative outlet. And this past interview with you, and this one, dude, the fire. You rekindled my fire.
That's awesome. I'm very happy I did that. No matter how much heartache it brings you, I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'll be calling my buddy up on the phone. God damn it, James.
Because I tell you, man, honestly, even if I didn't have a band, if I didn't have my bass sitting nearby where I could just pick it up, anybody can ask Morgan, almost every night. The last month or so has been kind of weird, but almost every night I'll pick up the bass for about an hour at least and just play shit I play all the time, but just something I like feeling. I like being able to play the music and express something and feel it, and feel my fingers on the strings doing the things that I do. It's like I just got to have that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's what makes a musician a musician. Again, you said the key word, feeling, feeling, and a lot of people that don't. You know what? If you, I can't say this enough. If you have got a love for music, I don't give a shit if you are. I've seen people that are so tone deaf, they could not sing if you paid them millions, but yet they've got a love for music. They feel the music, and that I guess is what gets me off the most is writing content and having Sam help me formulate it and break things down. I guess it's the formulation of the creativity. I love creating music.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it's great. And the greatest part, and I mean, people hear a 3-minute song, they don't realize the hours and hours and hours of work it went in to make that 3-minute song.
Yes.
But when you come up with that final product and you sit back and listen to it, man, there's nothing better. It's like, yeah, look what I just made. I'm gonna jam on this for a while. It's like, why do I even need to stream any music? I'll just make my own and listen to my own shit.
I do, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I got tired of listening to damn radio. Right? I'm serious. I know what I want to hear.
Right.
And I also know what I like to hear. So there you have it. That's one of the reasons why I've taken a lot of my content that I've gotten lyrics. Dude, I've got a fuck ton of lyrics. I love taking Matt's. He didn't. By the way, he did not go to New York. So he did not go to New York to see his girlfriend. But nevertheless, he should. He needs to.
Yeah.
But just the emotion, putting that emotion into sound and speaking it, just because someone is not able to feel what I'm saying, okay, they may be able to hear something, and feel it that way. Right.
And that's the thing is capturing a mood and a feeling. That there is a lot of music out there. All right. There's trillions of songs that have been written over the years, over the decades. But every now and then you get that song that just, it all worked out. It's like the perfect feel. Because even classic bands that could kind of do no wrong. I mean, you look at Zeppelin and stuff like that. Some of their songs were just songs. But then every now and then they would hit a song where it's like, damn, this is putting me in another world. This is like a whole nother thing. It's
exactly.
It's like I'm not only understanding what they're saying in the lyrics, I'm feeling those lyrics in the music, and that's when you really got something special.
Well,
that's hard to do sometimes. It really is.
We've got a lot of musically inclined people up in here. A lot. Oh yeah. I mean, me, you, Larry, Kristen. I mean, all singers. We can't leave a singer out of this.
Right.
We can't. I mean, even though my dramatic experiences was two things: a singer and a guitar player, usually a lead guitar player.
Right.
And it's like, for real, I've never had a problem. I've never had a problem with a bass player. It is literally always a singer or a goddamn lead guitar player, and I don't know why. You want to try to explain that one?
I don't know. Look, I had a band on my stage one time at that festival that I told you about, and they're a local band, and they're like a French immersion band. They like half of their songs and lyrics are in French, and it's kind of like, it's almost like it's trippy. It's almost like a tribal Cajun music. It was pretty good. I mean, I got one of their CDs, and I really, really like it. I mean, it's really cool. Anyway, so they come up and they're like, when they're doing these shows, we got a half hour or less to do a change around at these festivals. So I've got to set up, we got to break down one band when they're done, put the other band up, get them a line check, get them sounding right, and then get them on, within a half hour or less. So this band gets up here, and they've got 7 or 8 members. They got 2 drummers, and the singer's a percussionist, and they got the other singer plays fiddle, and there's 2 horn players and a keyboard player and a bass
Holy
player.
shit!
And, oh yeah, it's and I'm like, man, when they showed up and they told me that, I'm like, I can imagine the expression on my face is just like, oh my God, really? I was like, this is a festival. But anyway, we got it done. It went a few minutes over, but when I was setting them up, I said, okay, I'm looking. They give you a stage plot. Anybody that doesn't know what a stage plot is? It's just a drawing showing where all the amps go, where the musicians stand, where they want their things at, And I said, well, man, where's your guitar player? Oh, we don't have a guitar player. We'll never have a guitar player.
What?
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I mean, everybody's choice. And they played, and I mean, they were amazing. And I realized they didn't go into any more detail than that. They said, we'll never have a guitar player. But over the years, I realized, yeah, man, guitar players are a pain in the ass sometimes. Straight up, man. They really can be a pain in the ass because they're like, I think they're more, I think, like, guitar players are more manic depressive. They're more in their head than like drummers and bass players. Like, we're concentrating on rhythm. We're concerned about that count. We're concerned about staying on that count, staying on the rhythm. It's a very easy thing to do to a degree. They're all over the place. I don't know, man. I think it's a mental thing. I think guitar players have mental problems.
Or
sum it up.
Or you know what really upsets or what really pisses me off is whenever they either jump ahead or they make shit up that don't fit.
Right.
I mean,
right. If you're gonna make something up, do it in practice before the gig. Don't do it at the gig.
Right.
Because if it's something, because they get that thing in their head, it's just gonna sound great. It's like, well, maybe it won't, and we're playing in front of people now, do that. Get it down in the practice room. That's what we always used to say. Get it down in the practice room before you bring it out on stage. Because you don't want to embarrass everybody.
Oh my God, your girl's got a question. She says, what would Matthew, James, and Larry's sound resemble? Wow, I got it right real quick. It just slid off my tongue real quick.
Right.
80s style something with deathcore frat played in a blender.
Well, we got two drummers and a bass player, or if Matt wants to take bass and I'll take guitar.
There you go.
So if Larry plays drums, then it's definitely going to be like death grindcore.
There you go. Yeah, in a blender, frat pay, deathcore 80s in a blender. Because Larry's more deathcore, man. Larry loves that. There's no way if his feet can play 30-second, literally, if his feet can play 30-second notes, in triplets, consistently. I can say consistently. The heaviest band I've ever played with was a band called Virucidal. I shared that with you, and there was fucking drum beats that we synthesized. Bro, I couldn't even play them.
Yeah. I mean, you start getting into synthesizers.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Then you're like, yeah, no, that's not meant to play drums like regular drums. Like, I know guys that get drum machines and they tap out like a regular beat. And I'm like, well, why don't you just get a drummer? I mean, if you got a drum machine that can do all kind of crazy inhuman stuff, why don't you make it do crazy inhuman stuff?
Right.
Use it like a different instrument, but. Yeah, no, I know, man. Look, I used to do techno. I used to I programmed drums. I did sequencing, sampling, all that stuff. And whenever I did my drums, I always made it to where it was otherworldly. It wasn't something a drummer was going to be able to play because I had the ability to do that.
Sure.
So why be normal?
So why not kill the drummer? At least trying to do it, right?
Fuck the drummer, man. He'll be all right.
Right? Yeah. Well, he's gonna try to play it. I mean, I know. I'm a drummer.
Right. I know. And it's like, yeah. But I do. I gotta say though, I do like some of that stuff that Larry listens to. I mean, I'm a metalhead from time I was 12 years old. I do like some of that grindcore, deathcore stuff, man. If it's done well, if it's well produced and tight, man, it gets your blood pumping,
Definitely. Larry is just I don't know, some of the shit that he sends me, I'm like, dude, there is no way I can. You've seen my resume or you've seen my little application. Right. 80s style, Bob Seger, Bryan Adams, Motley Crue, dude.
Right.
There again, I mean, he pulls things off and sends to me a messenger. I'm like, no way I can play this.
See, the good thing about bass is that, like if I sit there and play somebody a bass line, no, most people aren't going to know it. All right, unless it's a real famous bass line, like from a TV show or something like that. But so bass can fit in all kinds of things. So I played so many different types of bands. I played in death metal bands. I played in like jazzy type stuff. I played the 80s rock like you're talking about, alternative rock. I mean, I played in punk bands. I mean, because it just made, and I did some of that on purpose. I never tried to stay to a certain particular style because I figured the more types of styles that I played in bands, the more I would grow as a bass player. It would like expand my horizons. Now I won't play country unless I needed the money really bad.
Right.
Because they make a lot of money. I mean, look, country shows, speaking of stagehand stuff, country shows were where the money. Country shows and wrestling, man, those were the shows we got treated the best on.
Really?
Oh, yeah, we got fed. Yeah, because the thing about country music that isn't like pop isn't like rock and roll and all, is like rock and roll has this dignity thing to it. Like, we're not going to, like, say if you got signed and say you got an album out, may not necessarily be a major label, but it's a label, whatever. You're not going to get, like, Chevy to sponsor your tour or Budweiser or something. They get a sponsor to where like you got to hang up Chevy and Budweiser signs all over the place.
Right.
Because that's how rock and roll is. We're anti-corporate, but country doesn't give a fuck. Country will slap those stickers all over them like a NASCAR driver. They don't care. So they come into town and dude, we're catering lunch today for the crew. Well, what's for lunch? Well, we got steaks or we got bacon wrapped shrimp on the grill, and I mean, dude, like serious laid out because they got all the money because they don't mind taking the sponsorships.
Right.
There's rock and roll, jazz, other forms of music. It's anti-corporate. We won't do that kind of stuff. And then of course wrestling, man. Wrestling's got all the money in the world. Yeah.
Let's talk about this for a second. Rap, right? You've obviously had to do a rap concert.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
but
I've done many. Yeah.
Bluch or no bluch?
I'm not okay. So certain rap I appreciate because I can appreciate when their lyrics are musical and it's interesting. If the rap is interesting, like look, I can't stand Eminem, but I will tell you
right?
that some of his stuff is amazing poetry. It's like a friend of mine said, it's urban poetry. And when they do it like that, when they can rhyme, constant and flip around and all, it's impressive. Not my favorite form of music. I'm not all this mumble rap and crap that's going on these days. It's like whatever. Now I will tell you, I did work Eminem and Snoop Dogg. It was the Up in Smoke tour, and I will say, Eminem, as far as the music business goes, the side of going on stage and being a professional, he is very much a professional. This guy doesn't get on stage and like, yo, man, give me my sound, all that. No, he's like waving the mic in front of the monitors. And he's like, I've got a little bit of 600 hertz feedback right here. I've got he's in it. You know what I'm saying? He knows the business. He knows the technical side. He's not a stupid guy,
Right.
Now, him as a human being, whatever. Funny thing is, Snoop Dogg, all right, so he shows up. So every rapper has their posse. When they show up, it's not like a rock and roll gig. The guys get off the bus, they don't have any friends with them. It's just them and the road crew. Same thing.
The road crew.
Right. Same thing with, but rap, dude, they come in a van with 20 other people. That's their posse. And dude, so Snoop Dogg shows up. He parks on the dock, opens up the van. Smoke everywhere. And that's a tall son of a bitch, man. He's like 6'4".
Is he?
Oh yeah, he's tall. 6'4", 6'5". Snoop Dogg's tall.
Morg says, "Hold up! I love Eminem."
I never knew that.
Larry's like, well, check this shit out. I'm gonna throw Larry under the bus here in a minute. He says, discourage inbreeding, ban country music.
Yeah.
Wow.
Country now. Now here's something, y'all. I'll tell you a few things y'all don't know. Fucking that nobody's gonna notice unless you know it. Garth Brooks started off as a stagehand. All right. Now, of course, no more. He's a billionaire.
Yeah.
I don't like his music. I don't like country. Well, he came to town one year, and we were. It was in a dome. It was a big festival. Well, he was at the top of the world at the time. This was like in the '90s, where Garth Brooks was like selling out major arenas and everything. Had a concert at the dome. Do you know? Okay, so upriggers are our guys that we send up into the ceiling to hang these. When you see all this sound and everything and lights going up, it's hanging from the ceiling by airplane cable wrapped to a beam and chain motors. Okay, now we got upriggers, we got downriggers. I was a downrigger because I just won't go up there. All right, so
I just won't go up there.
no, I've been up there. I've been to the top of the dome, looked out the top and everything, but I ain't rigging up there. But these guys go up in the ceiling, they walk the beams, and they pull up the steel, they wrap the steel, they make sure everything's tight. Those are the guys that make sure that those speakers don't fall on people, all right? Combined with the ground riggers, of course, but the up riggers have a lot heavier of a job because they're pulling this shit up. And then, I mean, the top of the Superdome, I mean, the bottom catwalk, I think, is like 290 feet or something off the ground. It's a big pull. Well, Garth Brooks came to town to do his concert. He put on a rigging harness and went up in the ceiling and rigged with our guys because that's what he used to do before he became famous.
What?
Yes. Yep. And he knew what he was doing. It wasn't just like for show. He got up there on our, because in the dome, you got to have teams of riggers. Like when you're in a small arena, one guy can pull up one cable, but in the dome, you got to have a couple of guys on one of these airplane cables, to get it all the way up there.
Right.
He got on a team with guys, and he was yanking up, man. He went up there and did some of the rigging with them. And he said, they're like, man, why are you up here? He goes, I just want to do it again. I miss it.
That surprises me, but don't surprise me. I mean,
yeah, to a degree, he's kind of a.
What I want to say is the formulation of music, and we can get into that for a minute. That's Larry's not cracking on country, and
That's fine. I agree with him, man. I can't stand country, but we got fed very well at the country show. That's all I'm saying. I enjoyed the country shows because I got fed well and I got paid well.
But here's the thing, bro. You got to think about this.
Yeah,
because
business.
You got to think about this though. There's really no the commonality of country and rock isn't really varied. I mean, for real. The same damn drum beat I can carry through a country song. I can carry through a rock song.
Yep.
I mean, for real. It's like,
that. Yeah, it's in there, and that's probably why you ended up in the '70s with like Southern rock bands like Leonard Skinner and Marshall Tucker and what was that freaking band, Molly Hatchet, stuff like that, because it kind of does have a combination. Now country and rap are combined. I mean, you look some of the newer country music, you wouldn't think it's country music,
right?
You think it's like dance music or some shit, but that's what they call country these days, which that's fine, whatever. I don't listen to any of it anyway. I grew up on Hank Williams, but I don't listen to any of that anymore.
Another drummer up in the house, Larry. Of course, Larry's like, country music makes me mad. Metal calms me down.
Yep.
That's like that guy, that little that techie guy from the what the hell is the name of that movie? It's Need for Speed. Was it Need for Speed or the hell? Fast and the Furious, my bad. He was that little ADHD kid. He's like, I don't know what it is about engines, but engines calms me down. That's Larry. That's Larry, right?
Right.
I don't know what it is about country, but it just pisses me off.
Yep. I mean, I will give every form of music some props. I mean, country has a lot of, the old country had a lot of good poetry in it. They had a lot of interesting ways of writing lyrics. The music, bass is bullshit in country. I mean, there's no way. It's all just, I could play one bass line and it would fit to a million country songs.
Sure.
I mean, it's nothing. rock got to be like that for a while, but sometime during the '80s, like they gave up on bass. I don't know why, and then it came back in the '90s, which was cool.
So are you a slapper or a picker?
I don't use a pick, but I do slap and I do play fingerstyle.
Nice.
I mean, I play all kinds. I play jazz. I mean, I play like I said, I joined all kinds of different bands to learn different styles of playing bass. And so, and plus growing up in New Orleans, I mean, you hear jazz all the time. So, it's natural that I'd pick up on jazz, which is easy to play. You can't hit a wrong note in jazz. It's
right.
You hit a wrong note, it's like, no, that's what I meant to do. Nobody knows. It's kind of free form, but
you and I know that. Well, here's the kicker. To me, one of the reasons why I jumped onto a bass is because of I hear even in like a standard 4/4 song, slow, yada yada yada. I'm one of those drummers that loves to fill, to play what I hear.
Right.
And by doing that, a standard boom, tsh, boom, tsh, boom, right? Little simple boom, tsh, boom. What you as a bassist would hear is a bump, 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 or whatever in between that boom, tsh, boom, tsh, boom, right? So you're trying to fill that. I hear it and I try to play it.
Right.
Okay. So the glue to an actual band to me. Sorry, singers. Sorry, guitar players.
Yeah.
The glue is the bassist and the drummer. You want to talk about that? Because that truly is where the magic happens.
Yeah.
And if
music is rhythm. You got to have a rhythm to the music, or else it's not really music. It's just a bunch of sounds you're putting together. So you're writing a song. You want to have rhythm, and you want to have a steady rhythm. You want to have something people can lock into and have a good time with. Well, that's what drums and bass are for. We're there to lock in that rhythm, so that the guitar player or the keyboard player, the vocalist and trumpeter, whatever it may be, can do whatever they want, and they can add the melody line.
Mm-hmm.
But we're the ones producing it. Like they say, we're the reason the girlfriends dance, but they don't know why.
We're the ones that made her shake her ass. Let's just clarify that for the record.
Right.
Sorry.
I was trying to be clean about it on the air, but yeah.
Yeah, come on, dude. You were up on the Matrix.
I know, right?
Yeah, you're allowed to bend the code from time to time, right?
Right, yeah, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to have the drums and bass locked in. If I'm in a band with a drummer I can't lock into with, then it's just not going to work, and I ain't going to be there for long. Now, I've been blessed. Every drummer just about that I played with has been a good, at least good enough to hold your basic steady rhythm that I could do something to. But the thing about here, and I'm gonna brag on my scene for a little bit. All right,
do it.
There are no bad bands around here. There may be music you don't like. You might see a band you don't really like them and all, but every band, all of their musicians are talented. In fact, if you get up on stage, because I've been to other cities and towns and stuff where like they'll let bands get up on stage that it's like they just got out of their mom's living room or something, All right? But they'll get them up on stage and they'll be selling T-shirts and people will like them and all. That shit don't fly in New Orleans. And look, I've seen it before. Like, we've had bands come down here from out of town that weren't really that good. I mean, beside the music, they just really, the drummer's a little off, or the guitar player's kind of squeaking on it or whatever, and we'll be like, we'll go, hey man, good show, nice meeting you, this and that, but you ain't never playing here again.
No, right.
Straight up. And we've had bands where the band was mostly good, but you had one guy that was off. So what we'll do is, and this goes for every musician around here, I guarantee you, I'm speaking for every musician in this area. We'll go up to some of the other band members and say, hey man, you got to really kill a band, but you need to replace your bass player.
Oh!
We'll tell them straight up. We'll say, man, that guy, may be a nice guy, might be your friend, but you need to replace them. You know, because you're not going to get to play around here much more if you don't replace them.
Your boy just threw us both under the bus.
Yeah.
Literally, your boy David just not threw us under the bus and ran us over and then threw us on the. Oh, he fucked us up bad.
Oh, what'd he say?
Oh, are you ready?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to bust his chops for this one. He's like, bass players and drummers are always tight. Most of them work on the same pizza joint. And I'm like, oh shit, you didn't just say that. But oh, he went there.
Right. That's Dave. That's Dave, man. Jesus.
But I mean, oh man.
I know, right?
Shit.
Right.
What
Yeah.
is the dude a singer? Was he a singer or was he just a rigger?
He's a sound guy. He's
Well, I
you know.
can't say he didn't carry the shit because he's carried the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. Dave's like my dude, man. He'll fucking, like, you're on a crew with Dave, he's got you. He's got your back, and there ain't nothing anybody can do about it. So yeah, he's a good guy. I keep trying to get him to get away from that fucking California and move back down here, but that's his home, so you know, yeah.
Well, California is, to me, I'm a driver, like Mr. David Nash. I can't stand California. It's not. I don't know. It's probably because of my experience driving. They are their own little. They don't like trucks. They cannot stand drivers. I mean, the moment you cross into Cali, you'd better have that chrome dimmed. Blah 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 blah. And the funny shit is, we call them big mirrors, the big tall mirrors on the side of our trucks. We call them West Coast mirrors.
Oh,
right?
Really?
But yeah, man, you can only have so much chrome on your fucking truck going to Cali because you'll blind people.
Oh.
I'm for real.
How sad. Oh, geez,
right?
Man, really? Wow.
For real, dude. They got it. They got a hard on for drivers, man. They always have. Larry Hawkins, like, I love a good jazz group. I do believe that's the foundations of rock and roll. Wouldn't you say? Is jazz?
I would say it's definitely. I would say blues is more of a foundation.
Blues and jazz, right?
Jazz,
Blues.
I think you add jazz on, and that adds the progression of rock and roll. Like, basic rock and roll was kind of blues based, and then the jazz influence is where rock and roll became a little more progressive.
Right.
You know, and they took that influence. But yeah, man. I don't know. Ask me anything, man. I got stories. I mean, I know we got a little time left. You know, if anybody wants to know about any particular rock star or something, I worked about all of them. I worked Britney. I worked Prince.
I won't.
Charles.
I won't throw the. Well, I can't remember who it was, but somebody threw out there that. I'm gonna scroll back through this one Facebook chat real quick. Said that somebody was a tranny, and I can't remember who it was.
I don't know. I don't know about all that. I mean,
I know. I'm like, what the hell? I'm thinking to myself, what? Not that I care. I don't care.
Right. It's I mean, it's possible in that business. I mean, look, it is a Hollywood thing. You know, once brands get a certain amount of success, you know, then the Hollywood factor fades in and all. And I mean, we had, look, one of my old bands, the alternative band I tell you about with the two girls singing and all.
Yeah.
We went to record in a studio and record an album just for ourselves. And the studio guys were very interested in us, and they offered to bring in a Hollywood type guy to help us with the production. And basically, they walk in and they rearrange the songs, or they say, okay, well, we're going to put the sound of frogs behind this part, and we're going to fucking we want this part like this, and we're going to drop this off on here, and you know. The whole deal was that this person would come in and basically make us millionaires. And me at the time, I was like 27. I was like, I want to be a millionaire. I was like, okay, I'm cool, whatever. And the girls would just not budge. They said, no, these are our songs. This is the way we wrote them. We're going to stick to our guns. I'm like, y'all are too young to know what it's like to work a lot for a living. Let's go make $1 million.
Right, right.
Me and the drummer worked at a plant at like a sugar plant. And always like, I don't want to work anymore. I was like, yeah, I don't want to either.
Did you hear that, Dave? It wasn't a goddamn pizza shop.
No, it wasn't a pizza shop. No, I was doing something else. I was working concrete or something like that. One of those fucking crazy labor jobs I used to do.
David Nash throws out there, I loved Fats Domino. You ever meet him, James?
No, my grandpa used to live on the same street as him in the lower 9th Ward. I never actually met him. I'm trying to think. I'm thinking that he played something that I did, maybe like a tribute show or something. Because I mean, he's from here. I mean, and then like after Katrina, there was a lot of like these tribute shows and all where they got local people and big famous people that would come down and they would, do these shows and all. So I want to say he might have been part of one, but if he was, I don't really have a memory of it, of anything that stood out or anything.
Let's talk about creativity. I want to talk about creativity because here's something that I love to do, and that again, that is create. What I formulate, write, the creativity between even just me and you, a bassist and the bassist and a drummer.
Right.
How many, out of curiosity, how many songs do you think that you have formulated over the years that have been taken from you, either from a local band or a well-known band? Any?
Yeah, well, ideas I had that were put down onto tape and ended up on a Tool album.
Yeah. Let's talk for a second about demo chopping. Literally, because that's what it is. You grab a demo tape from somebody else's band, and then you chop the shit out of the song because you hear this one part, and then you're like, "Oh fuck, that sounds like my song."
It was more than that. We had like I said, I used to do electronic stuff, and me and a buddy of mine. It was just me and him, and excuse me. We had we had more than electronics. We had bass and keyboard. Well, we had different things. It was a conglomeration of stuff. But anyway, there was one song we did where it was a tribute to the comedian Bill Hicks.
Okay.
And we had recently gotten turned on to his stuff, and then right after we got turned on to it, we found he died. So like we did a tribute, and we actually we did like a 15-song demo, and we dedicated it to him. And because he was a very smart guy, and we liked a lot of stuff he was saying. So we took a bunch of samples from his very last concert, and we put it into a song or two. I think there was a couple of songs we used them on. And this was 1993, all right, like early 1993, and maybe even late 92. And then 1996 rolls around, and I had a coupon for a free CD from like a record store, when they used to have those things. And so I was in there, and I was like, what do I get, And somebody recommended Tool. I was like, well, I've never been really much of a fan, but what the hell? So I picked up Enema, and I see where they somewhat dedicated the album to him, and then they used all of our samples.
See?
And it wasn't like they took the samples from our tape. What they did was they went to another concert that he did and took the same exact samples. And this is the deal. People will say, oh, well, who are you and this and that. No, we had tapes floating around on the West Coast, specifically Los Angeles and up in Washington around Seattle, Seattle, Washington and all that. So we had tapes floating around L.A. between 1993 and 1996.
See?
I can't say for sure that they got a copy of it or heard of it, but damn, it was coincidental.
Yeah, I personally don't call that a coincidence, dude.
Right. Me neither.
I really
Me
don't.
neither. Yeah, me neither. I wasn't too happy about it.
There was this. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, and one of the reasons why I threw that out there is back prior to whenever Marilyn Manson I'd say it was about. Oh man, I don't remember whenever he formulated the Beautiful People song. I really don't. However, I can tell you that my band, the band I was in, named Minute Till Midnight, we wrote a song called Alone. Okay, and you know how the Beautiful People starts out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. I could have swore. I asked Shannon, my singer. I'm like, dude, you know Marilyn Manson. I know you know him and his family. I'm like, does the Beautiful People at all ring a bell and sound a little bit like Alone?
Right.
And Shannon's like, well, what do you mean? I'm going, the drum beat that.
Right.
Because dude, I'm like I hear it. I hear it. You hear it. You hear shit that you really shouldn't hear, right? You're a bassist. You hear every little 30-second notes in between.
Right.
A 4/4 beat. You hear everything.
That's our job. Yeah. Right.
I mean, truly, if there's this, check this. If there's a 64th note in there, you're gonna fucking hear it.
Right.
So, again, dude, I'm like, I hear the Beautiful People. I'm like, oh my god, and I even told Shannon, I'm like, man, we just got fucked by Marilyn Manson. He's like, he heard it, and he's like, dude, that really, really does. I'll have to play Alone for you.
All right.
And you'll hear the formulation. It's a little bit different, but you'll hear it. I don't even know if I'll pull it up. See if I can pull it up.
And then and let me say real quick, there is a difference between bands influencing each other and, whether it's a major act, whatever, and directly ripping somebody off.
Right.
Because we all influence each other. I mean, look, me and Morgan were talking about it the other night. She was listening to some of my old band stuff from back in the 90s. The band Colonel that we used to play with Acid Bath all the time. Well, she was listening to one of our songs and she's like, it reminds me of Acid Bath. I'm like, well, look, we were best friends. We kind of influenced each other. I said, I can point out songs on Acid Bath's second album that are direct. It's directly us. I even told the bass player, Audie, after the second album came out, I said, some of that stuff kind of sounds like us. And he goes, well, man, we both influence each other. I said, yeah. I said, and honestly, you guys do us better than we do us. So,
this son of a bitch will not let me share my screen with you, or my will not let me share my what do you call it?
song.
Yeah, hang on. Let me see if I might. I'm gonna try. You're gonna not see me for a second, maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna try to share my entire screen with audio. Yep, it won't let me. Son of a bitch.
That sucks.
You can still see my screen, right?
Yeah, I see it.
Let me see if I can hear it. I'm playing. Yeah, these guys can hear it, but
Yeah, I can't hear it. Yeah, you have to let me listen to it another time when we're like off there.
these guys can hear it, but you can't hear it. Now, the song, what I'm playing for everybody, dude, this song was way before. Yeah, that totally pisses me off when I hear that song now, because you got to go back and listen to what I just played at almost the end of the broadcast. But nevertheless, dude, I heard you'll hear it. You'll hear different shit. I'm like, and again, this was way prior to Yeah, way prior to the beautiful people,
Right.
and it just pissed me right off.
Right, I guess so. I guess so. You know, like I said, it's different from being influenced and being directly ripped off. And it's like, look, I told you a story about a band that, well, they're real famous, and you actually mentioned the guitar player earlier in the show, that they offered to help us out, but they said, you know, if we gave them a demo, but they said, you know, if we hear anything we like, we're going to take it.
Yeah,
And I said no.
that
And
is
my
just
band-
wrong.
Yeah, and the guys in my band got pissed off at me. I was like, dude, really? I was like, so what happens if they help us make it, but then we have to edit a bunch of songs and take parts out, because now if we come out with this album, people are going to say we ripped them off.
Right.
And really it was out. And it's like, I don't want to go through all that shit. You know, I was like, let them, you know, if they like our stuff, let them figure it out.
Exactly.
They never did.
Cheers,
They played some crazy shit. But
Mr. David. West Coast homeboy says, cheers, boys. Nicely done. A new fan of the channel. Hey, man, I appreciate that, David.
cool, man. Cool.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah, Dave.
definitely. We talk about all kinds of shit up here, brother. Just ask James. When it comes to politics, I fucking hate politics. And we'll chew it up, spit it out nicely.
Yeah, yeah. Look, I hate politics too. I got to deal with it every day at work, just about, and it's just fucking. It's slimy. It's really slimy.
Politics.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you're in the local political scene.
yeah. I know. I'm just seeing it small time. It makes me feel fucking slimy. You know, it's
Right.
like, man, I can imagine Washington. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, hell no. You wouldn't know. I couldn't see you up in there.
Oh no.
All right, Mr. Roundtree, man, it is 2 hours quick for real, dude.
Yeah. All good, brother. Look, I'm glad you did this, and we got to do this one time, because I know we had talked about it a few times, and I mean, you know, other stuff comes up, and I mean, you know, you got, you know, a lot more interesting topics than us just sitting here bullshitting about music, you know. So I appreciate you doing this.
But we love it. We love
Right.
what we love it. Again, you should see, I'm almost 50 here, and you see me post another ad.
Right.
Thanks, James.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
We'll
I'm glad, man.
do this. We got to do this again somehow, somewhere. I just love off the top, you know, off the cusp type shit. I do.
Yeah.
No, that's one of the things that we're notorious for here, is especially no script. I don't run on a script. I don't obey their rules. I don't. You know me, man. Yeah. So if it's fun, bring it. When the fun ends, let's get the hell out of here.
Right. Yeah, it's for anybody new to the channel that's watching tonight, Dave and all, man. This man, Matt, he will go off, man. He presents a lot of really cool stuff on a lot of stuff besides music. We're just talking this tonight, but you know, if you want to talk about like Egypt and freaking UFOs and freaking Illuminati and all that, man, you know, anything goes. Anything goes.
Miss Rose says, great conversation, fellas.
Cool. Thank you, Rose.
Thank you, Miss Rose. Shout out to you. All right, homie, you got something positive to say to everybody on your way out of here? I know, again, Friday it was just, it was not the titties comment. It was just a storm blowing through here that wiped us out. So,
Yeah.
James, say something positive to everybody. Again, I appreciate Morgan for introducing me to you. I truly do. She's a sweetheart. You guys are just amazing, and I thank you for being in my life, dude. I really do.
Thank you, man. We enjoy it, man. You become a friend of the family. You're like our long distance cousin now. Something along those lines, but yeah. I guess everybody look. I don't know if it's positive or whatever.
Yeah.
Make the best of what you've got. We've only got a limited time here. Try not to stress or anything. Don't let these politicians and all this stuff get under your skin. You know, you feel yourself starting getting aggravated with the news, turn it off. Go enjoy life, because sooner or later we're all going to meet our end, and you don't want to look back at the end and say, man, I just spent the last 10, 15 years just being pissed off and aggravated when I could have been out enjoying a breeze or playing with the grandkids or, having a barbecue. Why not? I mean, enjoy the life that we have, because it really is a beautiful planet, and it can be a beautiful life. You just got to not let those assholes get in your head, man.
Excellent. Excellent stuff, Mr. Roundtree. Once again, I appreciate you, buddy. Take care of yourself. Take care of that beautiful wife and that family you got down there. One of these days, bro, one of these days, I will make it down to Louisiana, and you and I will have a jam session. I swear to you, man.
You're damn right, and you're going to put on 10 pounds, and if you don't, by the end of the time, you're going to stay longer.
Gumbo, baby, gumbo!
We're going to fatten you up. Don't worry.
You ain't got to do that. Trust me. I got that handled. All right, Holmes, take care of yourself.
All right, brother, take care.
All right, bye.
See ya.
All right, Brainiacs. Yeah, man, Mr. James Roundtree, known as Beach Chicken, a brother from another mother. Him and his girl, Miss Morgan Roundtree, from Louisiana. Yeah, man. All right. There's no business like show business part 2 with Mr. Roundtree. I hope you guys have enjoyed this broadcast. I truly do. And if you are not a follower of the Matrix, man, I really, really wish that you would become a fan. You ain't got to become a subscriber. Just become a fan. Smash the like button, smash this, whatever button. Like, follow, blah, 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 blah. Again, James and I was talking about music, and I've got a song right up here on our way out. We're notorious for beautiful screens and our own musical content. So coming at you guys, I got a song here called "A New Start." No, actually, how's one? Here's one. It's called "Hold On." Hold on. This is a song I wrote a while back about friendship. Right? So you guys lost and found. No, here's you one. Better yet, lost and found. Okay, you guys don't go anywhere. Again, crank it up, and I will catch you here on War Dial Wednesday. This is whenever I pick up main topic, like there's no business like show business, and then all of the subscribers, Miss Peggy Bardowski, I might just ring you on Wednesday. Been a minute. It's been a minute since I talked to you, Miss Peggy. So big love to you, Peggy. Big love out to Mr. Larry Hawkins and all of you guys up here in the Facebook chat, as well as the Trovo chat. I want you to know that you are appreciated. I thank you for being part of my family and becoming part of the Matrix tribe. You guys crank it up on your way out. Like I said, lost and found, y'all. Peace out. Be kind to one another. See you on Wednesday night. Yeah, baby. Again, let's crank it up and have fun. Yeah, man.
Lost in the dark night, can't see the way out. Rain and confusion, tears all around.
Lean on one another, brains. Yeah, man, that's what it's here for, right? Here we go.
Holding on tightly, searching for the dawn. Hope seems so distant, but I keep moving on.